So I thought it would be a good idea for us to have a conversation, and then I'll pick out some vocabulary to show you. What time do you usually wake up?
Usually I would wake up at 5:30 to 6 o'clock.
Yes, but what time do you get up?
But I get up at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, so there's an important difference between wake up and get up. When your eyes open in the morning, you wake up. But when you leave your bed in the morning, you get up. So I have a very different job. I wake up at 5:30, at 5:45, at 6 o'clock with Will, but I keep on sleeping, and I get up at 7:30, but something very important happens between that time frame, I think.
I feed the pets and I bring up a couple of coffees.
Yes, so very important in the morning. When Will gets up before he goes to work, he brings me a coffee in bed and we try to have a coffee together. It's a nice routine to have, I think.
Yeah, it's a good start to the day.
Yeah, but it's interesting because Will's job isn't the same all year round. In summer, you're really, really busy. I mean, what time do you wake up in the summer?
4:30 normally.
Really, really early. So in the UK, we have very long days in the summer and very short days in the winter. So let's move on to having breakfast. I normally have breakfast at around 8 o'clock. When do you have yours?
Either 7:30 before I go out to work again, or at 10 o'clock.
Yes, because you go out and come back in for a break.
Yes.
Yeah, and what do you usually have?
Normally I would eat a bowl of cereal, or I'd have a plate of toast.
Toast, yes. Or on a special occasion, bacon sandwiches.
Very special.
Bacon sandwiches on special occasions. Or what about a full English breakfast?
Only on weekends.
Yeah, so this is a really famous breakfast in the UK, the full English, where you have eggs, sausages, bacon,
Black pudding,
hash brown,
hash browns,
it's like fried potato, baked beans,
French toast.
yeah, toast fried in oil. And we often have a cooked tomato and cooked mushrooms as well. No, we don't eat it every morning. I would say maybe 5 times a year.
Yeah, not a lot.
5 times a year if we go to a hotel, full English. So for my breakfast, I nearly always have it at around 8 o'clock, and I normally have porridge. So that's oats and milk cooked with some fruit like banana, nectarines or plums at the moment, and in summer I use blueberries and bananas. Delicious. So the next thing that I do after breakfast is I do some exercise. In American English, it's more common to say I work out, and we do say this, but it's not as commonly used in British English. So I either go to the gym and do an exercise class, or I stay on the farm and I go for a run. If you do exercise, what do you do?
I do a lot of walking all day, so 80% of my day will be walking. I will be lifting bags, shoveling grain, just a lot of physical work really.
Yeah, so you said shoveling.
Yes.
So that's
shoveling.
to use a shovel or a spade. It's the verb of using that. I think that's a good one. And grain is basically seeds like wheat, barley, oats, anything like that. That's what Will grows on his farm. One thing that takes a lot of time for me is doing my makeup and doing my hair. Oh, it's a long process.
I'm exactly the same. Why else do you think I get up at 4:30 in the morning?
You've got to look good for those fields. I also spend a long time writing scripts and doing a lot of researching because I'm always learning as well. So I have an idea for an English lesson in my head, and then I'll spend a full day researching and writing the scripts for the next day's filming. So on a Monday, I'll do the research and the writing. On a Tuesday, I'll do the filming. On a Wednesday, we'll get all the editing done. And then on the Thursdays and Fridays, I'll do more admin work. So looking at my accounts, the finances, replying to emails, sending emails. Will has a very specific lunchtime. What time is it?
1:00.
1 o'clock is lunchtime. It has to be lunchtime because that's when Will's dad has lunch as well, and you work with your dad. Yeah. So at 1 o'clock every day we come in and we have lunch, and we both have different lunches, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah, we hardly ever eat the same thing.
Yes, I normally have a sandwich.
In the winter, I always have soup. I love having something warm for lunch because I'm quite a cold person. I get cold very easily. And in the summer, I nearly always have salad, but not boring salad. I like to make interesting salads with different seeds. I like to use butternut squash.
Yeah.
Yep, so that's similar to pumpkin. Some cheese, like feta cheese or mozzarella. And I try to include a bit of protein like chicken or fish as well. In the UK, we tend to have a light lunch and a heavy dinner. I know this is different in some countries and cultures, but before we talk about dinner, what do we do in the afternoons? Well, I know one thing that I often do is I walk the dog. I love taking our dog Diego on a long walk across all the fields, and I think he loves that too.
Yes, he does.
He loves it. Okay, let's talk about dinner time. Here, we normally have dinner at around 6 o'clock, although sometimes in the summer we'll have it later, maximum 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah, latest.
Yeah, latest 8 o'clock. And what do we typically have for dinner?
Our meals are quite varied. We normally eat fish twice a week.
Yes, so one of my favourite dishes is to cook salmon with lemon, asparagus and potatoes. We have that every single week, don't we?
Yes, we do.
And then we have other fish like tuna, sea bass,
Sea bream.
haddock,
Sometimes, yes.
bassa as well. I love bassa. We do eat a lot of fish 2 or 3 times a week. One of Will's favourites is steak, so I do that every now and again. We do it on the barbecue.
Yep.
And we also like doing chicken and salads inspired by the Italians. We do a lot of prawn linguine with lemon and sun-dried tomatoes. That's delicious. And then on a Sunday, we often have a very traditional British meal, the Sunday roast. I love going out on a Sunday afternoon for a Sunday roast.
A Sunday roast is made up of one meat.
Yeah, so typically turkey, chicken, lamb, pork or beef.
Yes. One side of potatoes.
Roast potatoes. So roast potatoes are very special. You peel them, you boil them, then you cover them in fat, like an oil or sometimes duck fat or goose fat, and then you put them in the oven and cook them until they're golden and crispy. They are so good.
They are delicious.
They're amazing.
And then vegetables, you have 2 to 3 or more. Okay, let's say 4 different types of vegetables will be on your plate as well. That would be broccoli, cabbage, peas, beans, carrots.
Parsnips.
Parsnips, yes.
That's the one vegetable that I will eat it. There's nothing I won't eat. But parsnips, I would not choose to have them. They're too sweet for me. Often with chicken or with turkey, because they're birds, they have stuffing, which is kind of... What is stuffing?
Stuffing's made up of chopped nuts,
Onion,
flour, and some herbs, and they're all blended together and made into like a ball.
Yeah,
really.
And it's quite doughy, it's quite heavy. And then we also have Yorkshire puddings, which is like a big... It's like a big fluffy pancake almost. The mixture is the same as pancake mixture, but it's very light and airy. It starts off this size and it grows and grows. And if I have one, I always give it to Will because it's just too much food for me.
And Will accepts.
He does. And then the best bit is the gravy, which is a meat sauce made from the juices of the meat. And you pour that all over and it's absolutely delicious. Let's move on to the end of the day. What about baths or showers? Because I prefer a bath, but if I have to wash my hair, then I'll have a shower. And I normally have it in the morning so that my hair can be clean for the rest of the day. When do you have yours?
So every night before I go to bed, about 9:30 to 10 o'clock, I have a shower.
Yeah, just before bed. So Will is 6'6" or 1.98 meters tall, nearly 2 meters. So baths are often not an option. What time do you normally go to bed?
I normally go to bed between 10 and 10:30.
Yes, so we go to bed quite early, but obviously it's because we wake up quite early as well. Will wakes up very early, but after Will wakes up in the morning, I find it hard to go back to sleep, so I also go to bed between 10 and 10:30.